Now, celebrating St David's Day without music would be unthinkable. And in Wales, we have more than our share of accomplished singers and choirs. One of our most popular is Only Men Allowed. They've built up a global reputation and they performed with some of the biggest names.
We are more than intelligent, corda multo itoverus, more mortem concludem, patres rixam semperis, quam pariret.
Steve Hamnet is one of the members of the choir. He lives here in Llandaff, and his deep bass voice is to be heard resounding in the city's gardens and churchyards.
In darkness.
I've been living in Llandaff for about 28 years now. Most of my daily life in the growing season is I'm a gardener. I cut grass, I tend gardens. But singing is a very large part of my life. Singing in church, singing on stage. A lot of my faith is expressed through music. I first started gardening for my local church, tending the grounds around the church. And a few of the parishioners said, oh, you know, would you do my garden as well? And so I started to look after their garden, and the gardening business, as it were, grew from those first few seeds. I've got to say, I absolutely love it. This time of year, especially when the trees, the flowers, they all seem dead, they're still slumbering in winter, and then you start to see these first few little shoots coming through. And it's very appropriate, of course, at Easter time that what seems to be dead actually comes to life again. There's a great correlation between what I see in nature and what our faith tells us from the Bible. I started with Only Men Allowed, about 11 years ago. I was at a particularly low point in my life, and a friend of mine who was singing with the choir at the time said, come along, it's a great bunch of guys, have a sing, have a laugh. And I found that to be the case. There's a wonderful comradeship in the choir. We've sung in so many wonderful and varied and interesting places, and great to feel that connection with the audience. It's a wonderful thing. As a lot of people do, in my teens and my 20s, I questioned my faith. I wandered from my faith. But I did find that I had that deep yearning within me, and I came back to the church, and I've remained there ever since. And even though in difficult times, the last few years have been particularly difficult for us, I found that my faith has upheld me. In fact, last December, my father died. And on the day that he died, I went up to see him. I felt there was nothing I could give him. I wanted to give back to him everything that he'd given to me over the years. All I could do was mop his brow. But then I thought, I can give to him what God has given to me. So I sang his favourite hymn to him, quietly. A few verses of How Great Thou Art. And I left him in peace there, came back to Cardiff, and he died a couple of hours later. And I thought, what better way to end a life, but with your favourite hymn in your ears, your family having said their goodbyes, and he's up with the angels there somewhere now.
parts of the original cathedral buildings here in Llandaff date back to the 12th century. It is one of the oldest Christian sites in the country, and it's dedicated to no fewer than 5 saints: Peter, Paul, Dyfrig, Taylor and Eiddogwy.
On the night of the 2nd of January 1941, the cathedral was severely damaged by a German bomb during the Blitz. But the cathedral has known more recent turmoil. In 2007, it was struck by lightning, and the damage to the organ was substantial.
Since then, after an impressive fundraising effort, a new organ has been installed. It's one of the best in the world. It's certainly one of the biggest organ installations in the UK of the past half-century. And if I play my cards right, I might be allowed to try it out. David, I know there'll be organists looking in total envy at what you have here. Tell us about it.
Well, it really is a fantastic organ, and it came about almost, you could say, by act of God, because in 2007 we had a terrific lightning strike which struck the cathedral directly and rendered the old organ totally unusable. So we went about raising the money, and in fact it cost £1.5 million, and we have a fabulous Nicholson organ here in Llandaff Cathedral.
Raising money in today's financial climate is not an easy thing to do. How did you go about convincing people that this was a good investment?
That was a difficult task. It's difficult to convince people in the pew, if you like, that we need a new organ, despite the fact that they could hear the old organ. And in fact, when this one was being built, we had an electronic organ. And they thought, well, that's a nice sounding instrument at the fraction of the cost. But this is the legacy that we are passing on to future generations, and it will be here for a very long time indeed.
Wow. That was quite something.
It's a fantastic sound, isn't it?
Well, it's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary, really.
Oh, it is. Is this more scary than reading the news?
Much more scary. I respect what you do. What is it like as an experience for you when you're at the helm of this?
Well, I get a terrific buzz from playing this organ. It really is a fantastic instrument, and you can go right down to a whisper with pipes that are as small as a pencil, or huge, enormous pipes that are 32 foot in length.
So let's get a sense of the sensitivity of it. So very quietly, what am I going to do?
We can start with a whisper. Keep the swell box shut. And then if you want to add a little flute solo above that, you could do that. And then you carry on as you are, and I'll...
So delicate.
Yes,
It's a lovely sound, isn't it? David, thank you very much. I can't tell you what a thrill it's been.
Well, would you like to stay all day?
I'd like to stay all month.